Okay, so now that it is 7:30, I am now going to call this meeting to order. We're going to begin right away with land acknowledgement. So the Mount Allison Students Union operates and carries out its work on the traditional unceded ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq peoples. This territory is covered by the Peace and Friendship Treaty, which the nation first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with the surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqey title and established the rules for what was going to be an ongoing relationship between the nations. So first, I'm looking for approval of the agenda. Could I get someone to please motion to approve the agenda? Thank you, Rowan. And can I get a second, please? Thank you, Councillor Kruger. Now we are going to, whoops, that should be approval of the, hold on, sorry. So we're looking now for approval. It should be of the July minutes. I can make that change to the agenda. Sorry, everyone. So could I get someone to please motion to approve the July minutes? Thank you, Councillor Burke. And thank you, Councillor Keller. Is there anything that anyone wants to bring forth about the minutes? Okay, great. So if we have nothing further to discuss there, we're going to move right on to reports. So Councillor Burke, if you could start us off with reports, that would be great.
Yes, thank you. So I know everybody probably wants to get to the election results viewing. So once again, we're going to hopefully assume that folks have had enough time to read the agenda ahead of time and can bring any questions or comments forward now. As always, you're always able to email me with any questions and comments you have afterwards. But I do also want to just take a second to use my time to say my report, to give a huge shout out to our orientation chairs, Danielle, PJ, and Rosalie, for hosting a spectacular and amazing orientation few weeks. Thank you to all the volunteers, committee crew, res staff, res leaders, everyone who helped out. I think it went amazing, and I honestly think it's one for the books. And as well, I just want to welcome, I know for sure that this is Rowan White's first council as our Indigenous student representative. And I believe, though I could be wrong, that this is Megan Fraser's first council as our graduate student representative. So I want to welcome those students as well. And I will take, and thank you for coming to our council. And I know it's a little bit of a deep dive in, but we are very happy to have you. And I will take any questions or comments now.
So do we have any questions for Councillor Burke on anything she reported?
Maybe I'll also just add that I've asked, if not in this report, that all executives update council on their summer goals for the next council meeting. So you'll see that coming from me next council as an update on the progress I made.
Great, thank you so much. So if we don't have any questions, we're just going to move right along to Councillor Minoka McKenney. If you want to go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the only things that I really wanted to add was I forgot to thank in my report Olivia, our Shine Chair, for doing all that she did for Shinorama. As well, I wanted to highlight Danielle, PJ, and Rosalind too on doing a great orientation. I agree with Charlie. It was amazing. I think it went really well. In my report too, I wanted to point out, just so that people really see, the Princeton Review times for mock MCAT, DAT, LSAT, and GMAT have been scheduled for Mauna. So if you're interested in that, look at those. I also added in a question for feedback about OERs for council in item 6. So I'm really looking to hear back from council on that one, and pertaining to a program that I'm hoping to get started. It's explained there, but also wanted to mention too that, and this is not in my council report, but I will be submitting something to council next time, that Library Council just recently approved $5,000 in funding for OERs to create a grant for essentially a student position to be made to create OERs for the summer. So that just finished up today. I sent a letter of endorsement for that. I will be reporting more about that the next council, but I wanted to highlight that right now. And also to note that my summer goals update is included in this report as well too. So I can take any questions.
Great, thank you so much for that. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? Reminder that if you think of a question later, you can always send them via email. So we're going to move right along to Counselor Ehler.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I hope you've all had a great start to the academic year. I don't really have anything to add. I want to echo Councillor Burke and Councillor Manosha McKinney's thank yous to Olivia, Danielle, PJ, and Rosalie. They've done a fantastic job. The only other things I'll highlight are the SAC Hospital continues to be closed on weekends after 4 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No updates as to when that will be, when that will change quite yet. And I hope you all saw the dunk tank on campus on Friday, because I was so proud of that. So, and it's also not too late to vote. Polls close at 8:30 p.m. You have an hour and then come out to the viewing party later on to view the results. My summer priorities update is included at the bottom of my report, and I will happily take any questions.
Lovely, thank you so much. So does anybody have any questions that they would like to direct now to Counselor Ehler? Okay, perfect. So moving right along to Counselor Fuzezi, if you would like to go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also just really want to echo Counselor Ehler, Counselor Manosha McKinney, and Counselor Burke. Could not have said it better. I do want to thank the orientation chair and the shine chair for all their hard work. And so my report, I'm going to keep it really short and simple. I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who came out to the Clubs and Societies Fair, who helped out at the Clubs and Societies Fair. It's a huge success. All clubs got between 40 and 80 signups, which is crazy and it's awesome. So I'm overwhelmed with joy. Thank you so much. To any student who wants to get involved with Clubs and Societies but couldn't make it to the fair, the Master Clubs and Societies directory is now updated, and all clubs that are on there have their constitution and are working. So I would also like to give a huge shout out to Councillor Robinson for updating that and making sure it's all good to go. So thank you for that. And other than that, yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep it really short and simple and leave it there. If anyone has any questions about my report, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer them. And I hope everyone had a great first 2 weeks of school.
Lovely, thank you so much. Do we have any questions now that we would like to direct? Okay, great. So now we're going to move along to Counselor Nolan, if you'd like to go ahead.
Thank you. So the only things I'll highlight is some of the bylaw work that I had planned to do in August got pushed aside due to other things arising. So that's continuing. And when we have our council training with our full council, the stuff that's currently finished will be brought forward for some feedback. And then the only other thing would be committee and hiring applications and elections. So currently we're in the process of hiring for our Allisonian chair. Committee applications are open, and elections, I might save that for Councillor Richardson in reminders for some of the information there, but that's ongoing as well. And that's really all I have. So thank you.
All right, lovely. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, great. So now Councillor Robinson, you can go ahead.
Hello. Like everyone else, I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as possible. A lot of this information was in other executive reports or you've heard it from me before in previous months. The only thing else that I want to add is thank you and shout out to Councillor Ehler, who did a huge project. That was the Go TV or Get Out the Vote media campaign. So thank you to her and shout out to Councillor Ehler for that. It was wonderful. She did a wonderful job on the website, the media outreach and everything. And I really appreciate and wanted to shine some light on that. The only other thing I'll add is that I added a copy of the Masu Monthly. I don't know if people have been seeing them too much. It's really big. So if anyone wants to look at that or the past ones that should be in your email, I would love feedback. And I also want to remind everyone that I'm always looking for content. So if you know someone or have something that you want to put out, this is a really good way to do it. And I'd love feedback or just information and content always. Yeah, I'm also happy to answer any questions.
Lovely, thank you so much. Do you have any questions now for Councillor Robinson? Okay, if we don't have any questions on that, unfortunately, Councillor Kraus sent me her regards and she's unable to attend tonight's meeting, but she told me to pass on any questions regarding her report. Please send them to her via email at hakraus@mta.ca. And lastly, we have Councillor Noss. If you could go ahead, please.
Yeah, thanks. So I have like nothing specific to add to it. I didn't go too much into detail with my report just because of the nature of it, but I'll just say if anyone ever has questions, just feel free to get in touch.
Great, thanks. Does anyone have any questions now for Councillor Noss regarding anything Board of Regents related? All right. Nice. So now we're going to move on to new business. So we're going to start now with a constitution for a new club called Attic Intermedia Society. So we're seeking approval for the constitution for this new society. I'm seeking a motion to accept this constitution. Thanks, Charlie. And can I get a second? Thank you, Rowan. So now we're going to do a vote. Y in the chat for yes, N for no, and A to abstain.
Claire, could I
Yeah.
just do a point of order really quick?
Sure.
Just have to open up the floor for discussion before.
My apologies. Yep, of
No
course.
worries.
Thanks for letting that you know, Charlie, or Councillor Burke, sorry. If anyone has anything that they would like to say, please do so now. Okay, so if we have nothing for discussion, now I will open it up for a vote. So if you would like to vote yes, please put a Y in the chat, N for a no, and A to abstain. Okay. Great. So we have now accepted and passed the constitution for the Attic Intermediate Society. We are going to move on to another new club and society. Sorry guys, here we are. So now we have the constitution for the Mauna AWD Synchronized Swimming Society. Could I please have a motion? To accept the constitution?
I believe Councillor Kruger moved in the chat.
Oh, my apologies, Councillor Kruger. I got meshed in with the Y's. And thank you, Councillor Fuzazi, for a second. So now I'm going to open the floor for discussion. If anyone has anything they would like to comment, please feel free to do so now. Okay, so if we have nothing further to discuss, once again, we're going to go for a vote to accept this constitution. Y for yes, N for no, and an A to abstain. Okay, great. So we have now passed the Mauna AWD Synchronized Swimming Society's constitution. One more here. Now we have another club, the Mauna Yoga Club. Could I please get a motion to accept the constitution for the Mauna Yoga Club? Thank you, Councillor Keller, and thank you, Minoka McKenney, Councillor Minoka McKenney. Do we have anything to discuss on this matter? Yes, go ahead, Councillor Minoka McKenney.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed was that the club and society constitution, with the signing officers and the executive officers, some signatures were missing. So I'd like to move to table this constitution until the next meeting.
Okay. If we have no one object this, we can move this forward with a friendly amendment and table this to come back to it at our next meeting. Oh, go ahead, Councillor Burke.
Yeah, I was wondering if Councillor Fuzazi could just clarify whether or not they have to have all signing officers when submitting for council.
Thank you, Councillor Burke. By master bylaws, they do have to have 2 signing officers, which they do have, but unfortunately, as Councillor Minoka McKenney pointed out, one of the signing officers did not sign. This was unfortunately because they could not make it in to sign before it was given in. They were supposed to sign virtually, so I think tabling it for the next council meeting would be a good idea.
Great. So moving forward then with, thank you, Venna, second to tabling. So if we have no further objections, we'll move forward with a friendly amendment to table this constitution for our next meeting.
Oh, point of order.
Go ahead.
I believe, actually, I'd need to reference Robert's rules, but I believe for tabling, it wouldn't be friendly and we'd still have to vote in case council does not want to table it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, if I could add to that point of order, I think what you meant to do there was a consent motion or a unanimous motion instead of a friendly amendment. So if it was a unanimous consent motion to approve or table, that would be fine with no just recorded abstentions or objection to the chat.
Yes, Charlie, or Councillor Burke, my apologies. Thank you. That was what I was intending to proceed with. For all of us 6 weeks off a meeting, you get a little rusty. So now, I'm sorry, we are going to move forward then with tabling this.
By unanimous consent.
By unanimous consent. Sorry, Charlie, or Councillor Burke, thank you. So if we have no abstentions in the chat, then my apologies, but do we need to go to vote as well?
If you want to do it by unanimous consent, we can do it by unanimous consent.
Yeah.
And just
Okay.
if there's a plethora of objections and abstentions in the chat, we would have to move to a full vote.
Yeah, okay. I'm seeking then unanimous consent. So if nobody has any objections to tabling this for the next meeting, then we'll move forward with that. But if you do have any, please put them in the chat now. Okay, great. So we are going to table the yoga club constitution for our next meeting. With that, we can move into open forum. I would like to begin open forum with a message from our Chief Returning Officer, Ian Richardson. He was unable to attend tonight's meeting. He just wished for me to pass on that nomination period for fall elections are still open until Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. So if you are looking to be nominated or looking to nominate somebody, please do so by then. Does anyone have anything else they would like to bring forward in open forum? Please raise your hand or indicate so in the chat. Okay, so if nobody has anything further to mention, I would just like to say that, oh, sorry, Councillor Minoka McKenney, I didn't see your hand raised.
Yeah, that's okay. I did have one thing for open forum, just for people that committee applications are still open as well too, until the 3rd, I believe. Yeah, so apply to those committees. Academic affairs sounds really good. I hear it's a good committee. Great chair.
I'm sure that's not biased at all. Go ahead, Councillor Nolan.
Oh, I was just going to reiterate that, and the Allisonian editor applications are still open until the 22nd.
Great, thank you so much. Do we have anything else? Anyone else have anything further to mention? Thank you for adding that to the chat, Councillor Nolan. Great. So this is a reminder for the council. We are going to have our council training day October 17th, which is a Sunday. We're going to nail down the specifics early next week and send more information out to you, but expect a fairly full day of fun with your fellow councilors, and a lot of information coming your way very soon on that. If you are unable to attend that date for any reason, please email myself and CC Councillor Burke. That would be lovely. Great. So if we have nothing further to discuss in open forum, do I hear a motion to go in camera? Thank you,
Sorry,
Councillor Fusen.
point of order. We just jumped reminders.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry. So let's go ahead with reminders then. Go ahead, Councillor Burke.
Yeah, sorry. I totally was just going to say something, and I am trying to dial it back, and I'm very sorry, everyone. I have not eaten supper yet. My reminder is just less of like a Masu reminder and more of just like a civil human being reminder. That came out weird. Besides the point, it's not too late to get vaccinated, and also a reminder to send in and verify your vaccine information with the university. So I have heard that they're still waiting on a couple hundred students to come in and verify after submitting their info through Connect. So this is just a friendly reminder to any students who may be listening or watching the recording later, that it's not too late. And we have infographics plenty on the Instagram to help you folks with anything. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Burke. Do we have any other reminders? Oh, go ahead, Councillor Ehler.
Thank you. Just my monthly reminder about the food box. If you are interested in getting a food box next month, you'll be receiving an email very soon, sometime this week or next week. So just watch your student emails for that.
Great, thank you so much. Go ahead, Councillor Minoka McKenney.
First, I realized that my other common open forum should have been reminders. Sorry, tired too. But I also have one reminder that when people are in council, it's great to have cameras on. Love seeing everyone's lovely faces. I know I sound like a broken record, like props, but I love seeing everyone in council. So yeah, cameras on are great if you are comfortable, and to those who are, thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Does anyone else have any reminders? Great. So if we have no further reminders, do I have a motion to go in camera? Thank you, Councillor Fuzezi, and someone to second. Thank you, Councillor Kruger. So I am now going to stop the recording.